sounds good.
So, hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in and being here with me. I hope you're all good, staying safe, staying healthy. This is our Late at Age Dancers Network. Yay! We are here to bring you candid conversations with industry professionals, the ones that know the most from first-hand experience. Obviously, we're all in a difficult time and challenging times. Nobody really knows what's going on, but hopefully, we can still bring you knowledgeable things, conversations, information, so that when we're ready to go back to work, we can make informative decisions. And yeah, that's basically the goal of it. And today we're going to talk to Brian and Scott Nicholson. They're currently choreographers for Ariana Grande. They have been working with her for years now. They've had such a rich career individually and together, and yeah, this is going to be incredible. I'm super excited. I've personally known the boys for over 10 years now. With their experience, I have to say their humbleness stays the same. They're always here to help people. They're always here to guide, and yeah, it's just super inspiring people that I value on a high level, and I hope this is helpful to you guys. And yeah, let's see if they're ready to join us. Let me double check. Sorry guys. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous. Let me find Brian. Give me a second, guys. All right. I hope you guys have some questions ready as well. Okay, why can't I add them? This is really weird. Sorry guys. Let me just find them. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, let me see. Are they here? Come on, twins. Where you at? Oh, I'm sorry guys. Having some technical difficulties here. Huh. Where are they? Are they asking to join? Oh, yes. Okay, they're joining us now. Oh, I'm still nervous. Wow. I think. Yes, waiting for Brian.
Yeah.
Oh my God, boys!
There we go. Live from Van Nuys.
Oh my God. This is incredible. Okay, can you guys hear me well?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know why. I'm super nervous today, so bear with me, okay? Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be so much fun. This is really important to us. Obviously, you guys know what we're trying to do. We're trying to enrich in the community and the dance industry with as much knowledge as they possibly can have, so that they can go into the industry with, a little bit more of an idea on what is expected of them and all the goodies that people should know.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you guys?
I'm good. Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. You guys coping with the quarantine?
Yeah, we haven't killed each other yet, so it's great. Not yet. And we have chickens and stuff walking around, so if you see their heads and stuff. Sounds crazy. We have chickens in our yard, FYI. So in case you hear anything crazy, we
Okay, amazing. Good to know. I also know you guys been saving kittens.
Yeah, sure have. Maybe I'll go and bring one in during this live. So.
Oh, cute.
Number 4 years.
So, for the people that don't know, Brian and Scott are super into helping animals as well. Make sure you follow them on their social media and help where you can. If you can take in any animals and shelter them, make sure that you're also getting involved with that, because they definitely need the help, all the help that we can possibly get.
It's true. Thank you.
All right, so let's get this cracking. I'm going to just start with the questions that we usually give, and then you guys can just shout out the information, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, can you guys name 3 qualities that you enjoy most with from working with dancers? What is something that stands out for you?
Yeah. Dancers always have this beautiful, youthful energy, and freedom like kind of kids do, and they kind of keep it, I feel like, throughout their lives. And that's one thing I love working with dancers. This is my favorite thing, being a dancer and stuff. It's like always, every single job is always exciting, and I feel like when it's not exciting, usually that's when they leave the industry. Oh, you want to do 3 and the me 3? Oh, okay. So I think for myself is it's like a fine line of being equally as fresh and new and edgy and kind of raw, and then the other side being refined and super polished. As far as like the energy and like the look you give across, I feel like I want it to look, as polished as possible, edgy, but as Brian said, like the excitement is super, super important, only because anything just plain and simple is boring. And so that like excitement, how do you say it? The like artistry. I feel like when I see somebody and they're just excited for what's going on, but they're excited for an opportunity, or they're just excited to be in the room and just to be dancing in the first place, whether it's in an audition or not, I think that is what's super exciting to me. So if I can feel that energy of just an excitement, just ready to dance, whether it's on stage already, on tour, or for a commercial, or if it's just an audition, just getting just a chance to get to dance in front of somebody and kind of exchange energy with somebody, although it sounds corny, is super, super exciting and important to me. So I think rounding it off in a confusing way would be that exciting connection I get to have with somebody in an audition. If I don't feel connected, if I don't feel like they're available for me to connect, it doesn't turn me on to their talent or to their being at all. You know what I mean? So I think definitely that connection, the ability to connect with them, would be great.
For sure.
And last thing probably would be dedication and just like to their craft. Obviously dancers have to be able to make it and stuff. You really have to be dedicated, know that everyone's journey is different, but it's like you're there to work, you train every day or whenever you can, you know what I mean? You always give your all. Yeah, the dedication dancers have is just like super beautiful and unlike any other, I feel like, artistry. And you gotta look good, and you have to, like have a nice weight, fashion and stuff, so dedication to your craft is perfect. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, obviously, like being in a room with you guys, from my experience, I think what's always so magical, I mean, you guys already bring that energy and enthusiasm into the room. And if that can be matched by the dancers as well and elevated for the moments that maybe you guys, you're so busy doing 10 things at the same time, I think as dancers, it's our responsibility as well to carry the room for the moments that you might, lack it in because of attention and everywhere and all of that. So for sure, I understand.
Totally. One more that I was add just for myself, I think is definitely the willingness to collaborate and to realize that you like that, even though there is like a boss in the room. It's like you said, there is like a collaboration and like a readiness to like level up and be a part of the situation and not just be an audience member waiting to.
Yeah.
I don't need. Dancers are, for audiences to watch. So when we're in an audition, I don't need a dancer to be a part of the audience. I need them to be, a part of the situation. Do you know what I mean?
Contributor.
Yeah. And that excitement, but also as I work on myself as well, I'm learning to like let go of my insecurities of, being like things not working out perfectly or trying something and not working, or like maybe if I'm like, Brian, I like this, and Brian's like, I hate that. Not being like a self-esteem blow to myself, you know what I mean? So I feel like when we give dancers things to do or critiques, not having it be like a self-esteem blow is a huge thing, because again, we're all trying to create the best work possible. We're all part of it. It is, even though it might be Brian and I's name on the choreography, it is the job everyone's a part of, and it is a part of your reputation and a career and your livelihood. So I think looking at it like that is great too. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
for sure. Amazing. Thank you, guys. Next question. What makes a dancer, besides what you already said, what makes a dancer stand out in an audition for you guys?
It's so tough because for me, two things. To answer your question, is like Scott's saying there, their willingness to be open and their awareness of like the creative process and seeing that someone is bringing themselves to the table and is like if they get something wrong brush it off, laugh about it. If they get something right, it's genuine. You know, I just like that genuine artistry of and awareness of self. You know what I mean? Is like stands above people who are just trying to show you your choreography. You know what I mean? Yeah. When like we did choreography, we're super big on performance, and we feel like a lot of people should rehearse their performance too, especially in class. You know, because it's a skill, and it's performance especially comes with that. You know, with the openness of like riding the moment and stuff, and, like riding the energy of the room, the audience you have, riding the energy of other dancers and stuff, and like maneuvering throughout that is a huge skill. And I feel like when that's finely tuned, you stand out above everyone else always. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, obviously, you guys, there's not that many auditions happening or haven't been happening because you guys are constantly working as well. So I know that when you guys take the time to teach classes, you also watch those things. So it's good to know for people, like, do take class and do take it serious. I mean, obviously, there's sometimes you just want to dance and you just want to learn, but that's a part of learning as well, is the performance aspect. And I know from taking your guys' class that you always mention the performance, like, don't do it half-assed. Don't pretend like you're here. Pretend like you're on stage. You know.
Like, it's like we don't have a lot of auditions because we teach so much. So we get our classes are always have a great number of people in them. You know, always. You know, almost too much. But it's cool to be able to see dancers consistently on that level, and then see their dedication. You know, see how they work with other people. Being able to see people's work ethic, even if it's just from 2 classes, you can get so much out of that instead of just one half-an-hour audition. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much better to attend people's classes. I know it's probably a little bit more costly for the dancer, but you know, it just seems like a smart thing. You know, if they're great teachers. Yeah,
it's just also investing in your craft, right? Like,
you know, it's what it is. I think myself is like with that, and then with what we noticed in an audition, I think there's like I'm really looking for a mix of real life, which is like how the person would be in real life. Are they a great person? When they go to Starbucks or to the gas station, are they like, hi, how are you? Looking the person like in the eye. Are they a good person? It's super, super important to me because when we have ourselves around the dancers all the time, it is like very close quarters all the time, in every single way possible, especially on our team, but every team really. And then I'm equally on the other side looking for just amount of fantasy. You know, I want you to be a great person, to connect with people and like to work with and talk and to feel like I have your back and you have my back. But then I also want that fantasy. Like, you can take me there, take me to like wherever we are, like performing in like the idea of the movement, but also like with the outfit, with the clothing. So I feel like there's with that, I think just openness and looking how like you talk to people and you know that like availability. I think in an audition, I'm looking for just an extreme amount of being available. So, you know what I mean? Where it's like, whatever you need you to be, I'm there. Not in a thirsty way, but just like, this is who I am in my being. I'm not searching for something, but I'm like, I'm here, I'm ready. I'm at this audition because I'm excited. I see who I'm with. Like, I'm like dancing next to this person. Let's do this. Let's go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that makes me excited. And I feel like choreographers and industry gets it a little different where in auditions, they try and make dancers scared or try to throw them a bunch of choreography that is like the challenge, you know. But I feel like the real challenge is, you know, seeing what, like we had an audition for Ariana's second world tour, and we taught Be Alright, which is like old way voguing mixed with like new way voguing, and we taught it to a group of like masculine dancers, and the faces in the room were very surprised, you know, because they weren't expecting it. And then you automatically saw how people thought about voguing and then how they thought about themselves. And we're not asking them to go, you know, on tour and vogue, you know what I mean? Like, we train the best we can, and they should just train the best they can. And we just want someone to show up and be like, wow, whatever you throw at me, I'm going to try it. I'm gonna leave this room, and I might not agree with it, or I might, you know, leave right now. But let me just like see, and have that openness. You know what I'm saying? So it was a huge filter, you know. And I feel like that's a great way to kind of run an audition rather than teaching like a bunch of choreography. It's just maybe trying something unexpected that might challenge their views a little bit, but nothing obviously disrespectful. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, so versatility and availability to whatever gets thrown at them.
100%.
For sure. I mean, 100%, especially if you want to, for me, if you want to work as a professional dancer, the more versatile you are and more accepting you are of, you know, especially because times change, style changes, trends changes, you know, to be available to all of those changes.
And, you know, a real artist respects all art. They might not agree with it, but they're always available for a conversation about it. You know what I mean? Like, and those are true artists, you know, and we want to foster that for every artist we work with, dancer, singer, you know. We just want to be available to show up and, like, you know, if someone, we might all have some laughs and stuff, or like something might be uncomfortable. We're like, whoa, that was so uncomfortable. Whoa, it's so crazy, you know. But it's like all in art, and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? So being able to show up and not be like, ooh, that's weird, that's gay, that's, you know, it's just being open to it, you know, and knowing that it can affect you. Yeah, I think an equally amount of just taking everything seriously. Like, this is your job. You know, this is like something that, you know, we all are, you know, working our butts off to make a living at, and also, you know, for our dreams, but also like our paychecks. So it's definitely both sides of the spectrum for myself. So, and I definitely need both because I need everything. So let's go. You know, like, I can't just have one. Like, it's exciting, but I can't just have one. So
no, especially now with the variety of music, like the global vision of everything. Everything needs a little bit of for sure. That's beautiful. Have you guys ever UK dancers? Have you choreographed anything that used UK dancers?
Yeah, we did the EMAs. I think it was in, no idea. It was like 2000 and in the teens. And like it was 2015 or 16.
Okay.
I think we did Ariana Break Free perform. We did Break Free, and we came over, and there was I think, as you guys do over there, there was like, you know, the stock group of dancers that like they auditioned and then they used for like multiple numbers. And so we went over there. It was awesome. I feel like for myself, the UK dancers are I've always said this, and I've said this to a million people, and I'll keep saying it. Just like the strong performance foundation and like I say jazz, but the jazz foundation is so strong in like the way like the attack movements. And so when we went over there, we have the jazz background too. The execution. They were like, we have these dancers, and we're like, oh, we can't bring her on. We're like, no, okay, let's see what it's like. And it was excellent. It was so amazing. They were so great to work with. Super excited. Obviously, you know, there was that little bit of, you know, just being excited to be on a job, kind of jitters and stuff. But once we started working with everybody, it was like so easy. It was. I remember it was. Who did we have over there? It was. You're thinking about that. I'm thinking about Victoria's Secret fashion show. Victoria's Secret fashion show too. Yeah, there's been multiple times, and it's always been a pleasure. Oh, I've never ever had a bad situation. With that, I think there's always that little bit of trying to break a dancer out of like you said, into performing, because there's that like, I can do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna make you proud. Let's go. You know. But then I'm like, knock knock. Who are you? And they're like, oh, I can have fun. And I'm like, yeah. Brian and I come from that side where it's like, you're not a soldier working under us. You know. Yeah,
I think that's the biggest difference as well between. I mean, I think now it's blending a little bit more, but I think when I started in the industry in the UK, it was there was a leadership that was very much, you know, you do as you're told and only as you're told. And when American choreographers started filtering in more, there was a little bit more sense of freedom in terms of like, yes, we all are a team and we are all in this together, but there's still room for you to shine and there's still room for you to show all of your capability in this, you know what I mean? So I think that's like the freedom that most UK dancers feel when people like you come to the UK. So please keep coming to the UK. Please, please. I mean, I'm based in LA, but still, I know for them, it will be so good. And their experience is always a beautiful one. And it's just also like to exchange, you know, different cultures, different approaches of work. And yeah, that's super beautiful. I'm so glad.
A lot of it too is just like when we come there, it's just like we trained in New York City, you know, so it's like there was always this hunger and stuff. Like, we're from Ohio originally, so we were so hungry, and I think we've always kept that hunger and that excitement for what we're doing, each project, you know, because we love it. And when we come to the UK, it's like that passion and that hunger and that excitement is so important, you know, and I feel like that's why, you know, even older artists, any kind of artist, they love to work with younger artists or younger, you know, feeling artists because there's so much passion, so much raw, you know, energy. So yeah, it's always so beautiful. Also, we're Irish, Scottish, and English, so it's, you know, in our blood. So it feels it just feels good to be back. The UK is where we're from. You know, our grandma's
my God, that's amazing.
Grandpa, grandma's, all of it. So yeah, that's where our blood lies. You know, so yeah.
Incredible. So to all the UK dancers that have had the pleasure to work with these boys, well done. You guys represented as well. Keep shining.
Sure did. Yeah.
Nice. I know some of the people that did the fashion show. I can't remember who performed on the EMAs right now. That's top of my head, but I'm sure it's friends of mine probably.
Tobias and Kane, and then there's a bunch. I literally just saw the video like weeks ago. Alex.
Of course.
Israel did as well.
Oh yes.
I'm so killing it. It was like another. It's not lifetime ago. Yeah.
No, for sure. Those are all killers as well.
Dude, it was so quick too, and like they picked it up like that. Like it was incredible. Because, you know, again, it's like with training and stuff, we all kind of get in our heads sometimes and like overtrain, and then we don't train our performance. So to be able to come to the UK and have everyone already on lock with performance, it's like incredible, you know?
Oh yeah, they're ready. Like, trust me, when they have the opportunity to do something like that, no one's sleeping. They're all ready for sure.
Yeah, like sometimes when you see, you know, performances in the US or based somewhere else and stuff, it's like you kind of get these dancers, but it's not as genuine a performance, you know? But it seems like in the beginning, yeah, it definitely takes a little more time sometimes to get there, finessing to get there. But I feel like, you know, a lot of the UK, like when we come, they're like, ready, let's go.
I think also like,
let's go, you know?
Like in the US, we're a little bit spoiled. Like we get a little bit more opportunities here, whereas when you don't have that many, you will definitely appreciate the ones that you do get. So that's, you know, that's just circumstantial for sure.
No one's fault.
Would you guys ever, I mean, never say never, but have you trusted absolute new talent on a tour that you haven't worked with before?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Sure have. But I think for Brian and I, when we were doing Ariana's first tour, we were so many times actually. Yeah, actually so many times. You probably scared. I'm kidding now. We always make it a point. We're like, okay, there's like, we have 12 dancers. We're like, let's definitely have these 10 or 11, and then we always have the one wild card that we're like, you know, that we don't know anything about as far as like, you know, in the beginning, we've seen them dance. They've definitely taken our class a couple times. I feel like we never went on that far of a limb. Other than Devic, but I saw him dance on like Selena Gomez and stuff. But yeah, I didn't know him as a person. But with that, we do an extensive amount of interviewing tons of people and asking them about them, and then me being like, hey, how do you feel about this person? Or hey, you know, like, have you worked with, you know, or, you know, like, are they a good person? It is. The things I find out are, hey, this person moved to the U.S. and they got a job someplace right away, you know, and for me, like that shows just the excitement of like hustling and trying to make their dreams happen. Yeah. They have, I'm like, is this person, and they're like, yeah, they've always been a great person to me. But we ask, like, I at least ask probably about 20 people. You know what I mean? I do an extensive amount of interviewing and trying, stalking is definitely a thing. You know what I mean? We're trying to, oh my God. We most definitely. We ultimately want to, for sure. We ultimately want to create a place just like Ariana created and we created for ourselves, is a place where they can stay for a long period of time. You know, like work for a year. You know what I mean? And so we don't want to just like hire a new dancer every 2 seconds. You know, like we try and foster a place where if we're going to bring you into the situation, we want you to be able to have a home here. You know what I mean? And so that's why we're like, well, if we're going to bring them into our comfort area and our people, and if Ariana's going to bring people in with us, she always keeps it 100. Like we always make sure that we keep our group tight, you know. So it's always it's sometimes hard to take that leap and stuff, but a lot of times you can really tell who someone is by the way they dance. Yeah, you know, like if they're genuine, if they're like always looking around, if they're even available to like, you know, connect and stuff. I think I think Brian and I think for like Ariana as well. I mean, I think I know as far as the people we work with, we're not into like fast food. You know, like not date, but I'm saying like them just coming in, working for us once, then bouncing. Yeah, it's not about that. I'm about like people coming in and this being like working with them multiple times. It doesn't make sense to me to come in and me exchange energy with you. Also give you money or give you like my knowledge and give you this awesome connection. We're like a family, but we're just more of like a brotherhood, like in a sisterhood, and all that makes you feel like represented and we're making money. But how can this be a job? We're like having so much fun. That's the kind of environment I like to create. So when someone comes in, I feel like we're bringing them into this beautiful atmosphere. This like excitement, this place where they can be themselves, but also like contribute. I think that's super special for Brian and I and Ariana and whoever else we work with. So I think bringing anybody in, I have to do an extensive amount again of stalking and keep her social medias open. Shut up, Scotty. Don't be private. I'm kidding. No, but I'm like, I know for a fact as dancers we need to hold ourselves up to that level of awareness for ourselves and what we're open to and being like we're hiring characters, and people and artists, because you fit a certain situation, or we're excited about you, or we haven't seen someone like you before, and your job is to just like be that, and then I think about yourself like that, rather than about just this job, but here's what I'm bringing: this amazing artistry and this character and this vibe, and of course my character can like ebb and flow throughout things, but holding yourself up to that kind of standard as an artist, I think that is gonna, no matter if you're new to us, we'll notice that and we'll realize that. And I think we've taken a bunch of chances on people, but they've never, done us wrong. Never.
That's so good. So you keep your space, you consider it sacred, and you make sure that it's an environment that you can appreciate and that others can appreciate. But at the same time, you like to give people, chances and opportunities to step into that. That's
exactly. Have to. I feel like just for me, that's the only space I want to work in. The space where I feel like I can have fun, level up. I have chances for me to grow, like get like higher in the ranks. You know what I mean? Not just come in and like do this and then be like, okay, I'm done. Pass the check.
Have you ever experienced a moment when you've given someone an opportunity like that and you've somehow been disappointed or felt like afterwards, like, don't think this is going to be the right match? Not to name any names, but what would be a reason for that to be evoked in you guys?
100%. Yeah. I think there's been a few times. Yeah, for sure. There's, etiquette when it comes to other artists is so important. And like I keep saying about just being open in artistry, it's like, we want to create an artistic, like available place where people can just like experiment and Ariana feels okay to experiment, which she always does, but just in case she wouldn't, you know what I mean? Or in case we wouldn't, we want to make sure that when we come into our space and just like try a bunch of different things, and we have to have people available, you know what I mean? And the availability is so weird because sometimes people get really insecure and then they start to say and act weird, and they're social, they get socially inept, like a lot of people. There was one time where someone said something so crazy to I don't know if it was just another dancer or Ariana, but it was very like dancer. But it was very like out of nowhere, and the other dancer was like very uncomfortable, and then this person like kind of like saw that and kind of like said something about it, and I was like, wow, that's so weird how they acted that way. And so we never worked with that dancer again, but we were working with him for a long time. I think it was a few, I think for us, going back to like something we really value in a dancer is just being an emotionally smart person and emotionally sensitive. That way you, as an artist too, and that really goes down to being good with connection and like practicing the connection you have with people, whether it be volunteering or just being good to people whenever you are around, because it just makes you more sensitive to the environment and to the area. And like we said about our space before, being in our space, or when people come in and you can immediately tell maybe there's a producer or a director that comes in, or like the artist or something, and you can tell things get sucked out of the room, or it gets kind of tense, or with the choreographer it gets like a little bit stressed. I need people to feel that there is feel that and maneuver through it and be like, okay, well, maybe this isn't the best time to like play the music loud, or like scream, or like like you watch something on your phone. It's not necessarily being fearful of anything, but it's just about being smart and reading the room really well and reading people really well. And that really comes from, again, the practicing a strong connection you have with people and like looking people in the eye, and like then it makes your feelers and your spidey sense a lot smarter. And like, how can you expect to even be able to perform on a stage and do it well unless you're sensitive and being like, oh, this isn't really working, let me try and change my performance a little bit, or like, oh, this is a different country, maybe, you know, I'll change my performance a little bit, or you know what I mean? It's that awareness of being a live performer is like so important, and that goes through just like even just like social communications we have in between each other, you know?
For sure. I think that with you guys as well, with my experience, obviously, like it was such a challenging one for me because I've known you guys, but I've not worked in a professional environment with you both. So for me, I wanted to make sure that I was in that room, but I was really vigilant about it, and I was watching also the dancers that were already have experience working with you guys, and how when they chose to speak, when it was a good moment to ask questions, when it was a mark or when it was full out. Like, you know, I think being vigilant and looking to your peers, the ones that have maybe had more experience, for me is always going to be Kim Jane Grass, because for me she's one of the craziest, most professional dancers. So I would always look to someone like that and be like, okay, what is she doing? Is she speaking? Okay, maybe I should just not.
And the way you are, totally. And the way you are is like you come at it from that's a confidence for you. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people do that, but then they end up putting themselves underneath somebody when it's like you're like, oh, like let me see somebody who has worked with them for maybe 1 or 2 jobs more than me, and then I can use this, and we're at the same level, and it's not like a high like that is so incredible and shows.
Yeah, it's not about ego, is it? Like, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we all have different experiences, and that's okay. And I think that as soon as you remove the ego as something like learning is actually something really beautiful. I think we've kind of like have a slight weird perception of it, like, oh, if you might not know how to act in this situation, then it means you're below. No, you're just learning, you're growing. It's beautiful.
Totally. I think a lot of it is a huge difference in ego and in confidence. You know what I mean? Like, ego is something we'll have to move past. You know what I mean? And to get you to perform, to get you to look good. You know, but confidence is something that only enhances the situation. You know, so the ego is something I'd have to like really figure out and get clean and be like, okay, you need to step away so we can step in with you. You know, and you know that again, that openness. You know, when it's like just being open to everything and stuff. You know, I think a lot of choreographers or older choreographers or cast directors and stuff, they kind of made people like underneath them. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that those thoughts of like being underneath people who've been on the job and things. You know what I mean? It's like those have been fostered to make dancers and artists feel under them. You know, under the person. So it's important just to realize like what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. Is that you want to surround yourself with amazing artists, amazing people, and you deserve that. You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to foster. Is like, that's why when we work with you, we're so excited, because like you're a legend when it comes to like how I feel about dancers, and I feel like it was a amazing opportunity to work with you, and it was like always just so open, and it's what we want, to work with other artists who are sensitive, who can execute with their skill fucking incredibly, but also be so exciting to watch and so open, and you know, like to create this artistic moment that no one can fucking take with them, but we want to make it so dope that it can like live somewhere else totally forever. Wow. I know.
You guys are making me blush.
I know. But like one more thing about you, it's like there's like you said before, there was a huge we've known you for a long time. It's like monsters since when we were living in New York City, you know. So for me, forever ago. So for you coming in, it could have been a lot of like, okay, you know, I have a lot to prove. This is what, you know, like for somebody to work with them and when in reality is like you walked in, you were excited, you knew you had something like a standard you wanted to live up to, because that's just the way you operate. You're like, I want to do my best. I want to like be excited. I want to give something to them. I want to collaborate. I want to, you know, everything. But you went at it in an excited way, and in a way where it's an opportunity for you to dance. And I think that is the difference. Instead of coming in and being like, okay, I need to like, the motivation, go for it. Yeah, the motivation was totally different, and it was more genuine and more excited and more collaborative. And I think that's what is wanted, needed. And people coming in and being like, wanting to prove themselves isn't the hottest thing, and not being there, like, at all, like kind of like a dud, is also not it. So
yeah,
that's a huge thing. Is like, you know, I think a lot of dancers come in with the artists and stuff, and they feel underneath them, and it's just everyone's even, you know. And I feel like as a human, you can tell if someone has worth with themselves and is an open person and is nice, and you know.
Yeah, for sure.
That standard of just, like, again, openness is so important.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's really nice. I'm like,
it was important to elaborate.
Oh my God, you guys are so sweet. What was your what was your favorite job, if you could name one?
Ooh. That's a good question. As a dancer, before Ariana,
yeah,
when I danced for Janet, it was like it was the biggest learning experience ever, and so incredible. I learned so much from Gil and the camp and everything. So that was huge. As a choreographer, working with dancers. A moment in my Typhoon, they're okay. They're just screaming. Oh! Sorry. Typhoon, come on. It's gonna wow.
Is that a chicken?
Sorry, yeah. You have the chicken, yeah. So, was the VMAs for Ariana was for God is Woman. You know, it was like everything we're saying. That was my favorite job. For sure. Even more than just like dancing, because in my life, you know, it was like about just, you know, representing all these amazing women, different types of women. People we knew, who we didn't, you know. And I think just like the way we went about running the rehearsals and stuff are very open, but acting right away. You know, like Ty was in it, and Ty was, you know, acting fucking right away. And then like Jess Franco was like acting right away, and like all the other women that were there. And then we had Teresa Espinosa, and like, it was so Tiffany and Manabit. And the set, you know, it was such an amazing, beautiful time and place. Also, was like, you know, different stage for us, Ariana. It was just amazing.
I mean, everything about that performance was just iconic, wasn't it? I mean, the message behind it, the song was the shit. I mean, obsessed. You guys know how much I love this song, and but just all the female energy. I loved the representation of diversity in female bodies. I think that you guys did such a good job with casting for that. It was just a story told really, really, really well.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think from me, my most favorite performance, along with that, I can't even say favorite, but I will for this question, even though I'm like everything. I'm excited to hear what it is. I love it. I think it was definitely One Love Manchester.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
For a million reasons, and that's an obvious thing, but I think for me, it was just like, you know, just so amazing in the fact where it was like, you know, one as a choreographer, as a creative director, as a dancer, as a human being, everything was so high at that moment, so sensitive that it was just like one of the most beautiful moments for like an audience as well. For us to be part of that, it was, I think, just beautiful as a human being, which at the end of the day, that's all we are, right? So I think there's such an extreme amount of connection, and seeing people, like, sometimes it takes a little bit of, especially being on stage, like when people can get emotional, they can like shove it down, but seeing people just so overwhelmed with gratefulness and excitement and fear and emotion that it definitely put everybody in a different place. And so witnessing that, I feel like was, for the artists as well, the dancers, the band, the audience, it was such a special moment that, you know, it was just such a, and you know, we're just like them true selves. You know what I mean? And I think they all looking around like, holy shit, this is like, so I guess so much bigger than what we are, but so much of what we are, you know? And I guess that same, I guess, you know, so, but, you know, it's interesting. Like that one, we, after the whole entire perfect situation happened, and then we had to come and perform again, which we wanted to, we were excited. The first song we did was Be Alright, which was the voguing Old Way, New Way that we collaborated with Eric Sanchez, and Carlos and everybody. So it was incredible because in the choreography, we were like before anything happened, like we did SNL, you know, like years before. The choreography, you like wipe your tears and you say you're gonna be all right, And it was cool because, that was part of the choreography. And then, we were literally crying on stage at one of Manchester, releasing this beautiful artistry and energy and love we have for people, and we were actually wiping away real tears. And it was just a beautiful thing to like realize that like, wow, this shit is just so much bigger than just choreography.
Yeah.
Like, you put forth an intention into a piece of work, and then you live it every moment. But then to be able to actually wipe away a tear on that stage in front of people, it shows you that what we do is bigger than just like a check, or even just like a piece of choreography or a groove that looks good. It's like really intentionalizing shit brings it into a whole nother. It was definitely like Goddess Woman in Woman Manchester, where like definitely the times where like, you spend so much time as a dancer and as a performer, maybe just imitating life. And then for that, at those moments for life to come all the way back around and just meet you there and make it really about what you're doing. Wow. Those are the performances where I'm like, whoa, this is like, it's just so much bigger, which is why, when we're casting dancers or teaching class, we're just trying to get through to a lot of dancers' heads who don't get it. We're like, wow, this shit is so much bigger. And when you treat it so much bigger that you don't even know how big of an impact you have in one performance, or even like a bunch of performances, like your legacy as a performer, as a dancer, it's unfathomable. So you really have to realize that it's so much bigger than.
I mean, how beautiful is it that in the eyes of tragedy and so much pain, we as artists can come together and we can process that pain together, and we can exchange and communicate with art tools and hopefully bring something joyful, something positive to something that could just be negative and just horrible, but it's coming out the other side. And the fact that dance and performance can like lead to that as well, that's just incredible. That's what that's why I love what we do. Do you know what I mean?
And 100%, being vulnerable was such a huge thing. Being able to do that, and Ariana having such chutzpah to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's such a beautiful thing, artistry, like being vulnerable, but also like being confident, and also like knowing that we got this. We're full of love, and it's what we do is so dope. And that was truly a reflection of that. You know what I mean? And like everything, there's been so many moments that like as a human, you remember it, as a dancer and vice versa, or as a
milestone. Yeah, for sure. Wow. Yeah. Wow, guys, that was incredible. I got a bit emotional about this.
That's why we love the UK too so much, because we've all gone through something kind of like crazy, and you guys as a, as a vicinity, as an area, just like y'all really, everyone holds each other down there so much, and we feel the love every time we go back to Manchester and just the UK.
For sure.
But 100%, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Well, I'm just going to ask a few conclusion questions, and those are a little bit more personal.
Quick, sorry. Doesn't have
I'll make it super quick. I'll shut up.
I'm like, we keep talking like blah, blah. No, yeah.
No, this is exactly what we need. Just in general, what impact would you like to have on this industry?
I just want to make sure that I give a platform for real artists and real people to show themselves, to speak. Artists of all anything, like gender situations, races, just anything. I just want to make real art and make it with real artists and real people, and people who are available and open and okay with being real with one another and respectful, and just like giving everyone an opportunity to be themselves on a main stage, and kind of like shoving certain people in people's faces and stuff, and making people realize that there's a bunch of different people in this world.
Amazing.
100%. I think that would definitely have to be me too. I think that for sure. I think just making sure that dance really remains at its true core, a performance art that makes people really forget and escape and become and experiment and all these different kinds of things, because I think that is what makes it special. And of course it is a business, but at the end of the day, it's like on the artistic side and on the exciting freedom creative side, that's what I want it to be. I want it to do all those things I just said, but on the business side, I really want it to remain at its core a great a great place for people to make an honest and awesome living with something that they love to do. And I think with that, there has to be a lot of professionalism and taking things seriously, and also representing the dancer, and representing the choreographer, representing the artist, representing the band, representing the creative directors. And I think in each one of those ways, we need to remain extremely excited and connected and vigilant, just making sure that we are all in this together and collaborative and connected. And I think that's what I want to leave to it, just making sure that, it is all things, but it's also just one thing. And I know that art is not art until art's never finished until someone watching or an audience member has a reaction to it. Whether it's like openly or it changes the way they feel inside. So, you want to make sure you do that, and be real, and like that's when your art is finished. You know what I mean? Is when there's this give and take, and so it's important that you get that feeling and that reaction from being real and something genuine, even if you have to create it and manifest it and stuff. It can be just as real.
Wow. Okay, if you had to give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
Ooh. Well, good. Yeah, I think for myself is I think really realizing that experience is the teacher. Experience is the teacher, because Brian and I, coming from Ohio, but coming from like a poor family, there were definitely things that we didn't have the money to be able to experience, and so there was a lot of replicating and trying to do things to make it feel like we were taking the steps towards a dream or towards a goal or towards a want or something. And I think realizing that, like, at the end of the day, experience is the teacher, and you don't have to necessarily be in that specific experience to grow and learn from that. You don't. You try to put yourself emotionally in the feeling and use your imagination in the feeling to try to feel what that would be like. Your imagination, yeah. So I think for myself is just really being okay and saying, Scott, it's you're okay and it's okay. Experience is the teacher. Don't be so hungry that you forget where you are right now and you're losing moments that you're like, realizing that it's flying by you. You know what I mean? Because I definitely
that's such a good one.
Because I'm always like, what's next? What's next? What's next?
Yeah.
So I think really also trying to stay in the moment and really enjoying, which I think I am an excited, happy, enjoyable person, but I think I do that for everybody else, and sometimes I don't do enough myself. So I think those would be two things that I would be like, Scott, slap him upside the head, shake him a little bit, and be like, this is what you do,
Okay, thank you.
I'll also tell Brian too. For me, it would just be, when I used to take ballet class, I used to have like ballet face on, like so intense and just concentrating. You was Baryshnikov, and because we started kind of late. We started when we were 20 dancing. We started when we were 20. So
what?
So we.
Oh, that's just rude.
So we had to fake it till we made it. But I hate saying fake it. We just were open and available and just used our imagination and put ourselves in the feeling and vibe, which is why performance is so important to us, because that's everything. That can turn you into whatever you want to be if there's just openness and this willingness to experiment. And so I think mine is just be to never lose that and don't get too analytical, and don't overlook real pieces of amazing of your choreography that are amazing with like trying to think of putting more shit there when like the beauty of just like the simplistic moment is stillness. In the stillness and something more simple is more iconic, and that also goes for my reactions with other dancers, like I want to make sure that they remain real, and that I don't get too hard on dancers for messing up choreography, because that's what we're taught to do by the industry. Is like, oh, if you mess up weird, or you should be able to like retrograde it and then like reverse it and then like flip tuck it and stuff, you know what I mean? When it's
that old school mentality.
which is it's true, holding yourself up to the standard, but at the same time is like you want to realize that like the awareness of yourself and the awareness of how you ask somebody to do something and how you send love to them. That's what's gonna get an amazing, real artistic moment from them. Not like shading them or being like, come on, get it, like it's pushing them, but not like shading them. I've never shaded people, but I do think I was maybe too hard on some people and stuff, and I'm so glad I'm growing. So I think that's what, just like trying to shed that old school mentality and realizing that no dancers, no creative directors or choreographers have never lived in this time now that we all are living in. So let's make our own shit and our own rules and not live by the old shit, because it's not, our industry can't run like that anymore. You know, it's just not how it runs.
I think the aspect of like the work ethic that comes from that era was so beautiful, because people were just so willing to just know everything, and like I was trained like that, and I love the challenge of like having to reverse, having to be so vigilant in the room.
Exactly.
But definitely think that there's a new generation of communication.
Yeah.
Like communication, I don't think punishment is the best way of getting the best out of someone, and so I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Even like shading them or like making like an example of them and stuff, like, you know, like that's not gonna foster an amazing, like what you're saying, it's not gonna foster an amazing artistic experience where artists can feel like they can give their all. Yeah. Like that's not the best.
Okay.
And I think back in the day it was like exciting because, you know, people were a part of a time that, you know, it was, I think tons of things were new. We're a part of a time where like things are growing. Hey, do this. We're like gaining all these capabilities that we think were important. But I think at the end of the day, what's important is not the end result. It's just the willingness in your brain to be like, yeah, I'm down for the challenge. And that's real. Yeah. I'm there and I'm like, tight. You're like, I haven't done anything yet. And I was like, I just wanted to see you were willing to do it. Or being like, I see you fucking up. Try not to. I love you.
I actually know that's so true.
You know what I mean? Like even being like you let me know in class. In class, I'm like, don't hold yourself to such a standard that you start to like lose your awareness of like how can I still maintain my fucking artistry and my level of sanity, you know? So I think having that awareness is so important, and like realizing that how to push people positively and how to foster the great environment. Or sometimes you have to be like, I want to make the dancers scared right now because this could get scary in a second when management comes in or something like that. So let's like, you know, nurture that too. I think one more thing to add to what I tell myself is also be gentler with Brian, and realizing, you know, and like everybody else like I deal with that's also in like, you know, like maybe like a power position, only because I think at the end of the day it's like we're trying to foster the best thing, and it's not about ideas, and it's not even ideas, but the way I'm feeling. You know, it's not about the way I'm feeling, it's about the way the environment is feeling. And so I think just telling myself that too, to be like, hey, these, you know, even though Brian and I get over the little fight super quick, I'm like, 1 minute I'm like, I hate you, then I'm like, you want to go to Groundworks, you know? I think that's one positive with us. And I think if I were to tell myself that a little earlier, where don't take things too seriously and be a little bit easier with, like, you know, the situation with Brian not being like, Brian, what are you doing, you know, would be better, you know? Right.
That's beautiful. I think that, as I can speak for probably everyone that's worked with you guys, you set such a great example in any room that you step into. So thank you for that. I think that you're leading as an example for that, and please continue to do so. Obviously, it's beautiful to watch your progress over the years. I feel really privileged that I got to see that. And I just want to say thank you again for you guys for joining us. This has been so good. Like, amazing.
Monday.
Huh?
We'll see you next Monday, same time.
Yes, let's make it a routine thing. I just wanted to like mention again, we recently started a fundraiser here for London dancers. If you guys could spread the word as well. This is just to help the UK dancers that are suffering so much from COVID. The link is on our bio, so if anybody, you know, any little bit helps. And yeah, I hope this helps dancers. I hope it helps the industry somehow. And I just want to say thank you again.
What an amazing thing y'all are doing, and y'all are really changing the game, literally. So yeah, we're so available to help, and we'll definitely repost, we'll donate, and we'll share, and we'll just get the word out there. Yeah, we love the UK, and we love dancers, and we thank you so much for being so real, Richie, and just like putting this shit out there and asking us real questions, because, you know, it's a beautiful thing with what we all do. So thank you for giving us this opportunity. And I was super excited once I heard that you know, Dancers Network UK was, you know, I think it was like a year and a half ago or something. It was like when everything first started happening. Was just super excited that this was actually happening. That you guys were really vigilant trying to make things happen. Because for myself, I think that was one of the hardest things about us going to, whether it be Canada or to the UK, was a lot of things were different as far as like, you know, representation and race. And I mean, so like, and like respect level for you, dancers and stuff like this, from like choreography and everything. So I think for myself I was really excited that Dancers Network UK actually exists, and that we're there's a common ground in like a community that's like, you know, that's always been there, but that is like actually, you know, here, you know.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're like, honestly, it means so much. It genuinely came from a place of just trying to find common ground and trying to establish some ground rules on how a dancer should be respected and how they should be treated in a workplace. Because of the examples we had from other places that were already working, we was able to, you know, continue that and use that as an example. And we were so lucky, like with people like you guys, with the support we got. It's been a beautiful journey. So we will only continue to do so, and hopefully shine awareness to our craft in general and to the professionals that are doing everything they can to make this world a little bit more of a happier one.
Seriously, y'all are shit, and hopefully we'll get invited back soon so we can keep talking and sharing some stuff.
Oh, you will.
So, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Hi, Celine. And yeah, so we just want to say hi and thank you for tuning in. And yeah.
Yay! Thank you, guys!
Yeah.
Well, love you. Stay safe, and we will talk soon. Yes, boys?
Please. Love you. See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Stay healthy, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Demo sounds good.